here we are. The new, exceedingly modern-looking 2015 Mustang with, wait for it, an independent rear suspension. And in the other corner, and it's probably not much of a surprise, we also have the Camaro SS. These two have been going at it longer than some of you watching have been alive. Thing is, they've never been better. They both have around 430 horsepower, they both have 6-speed manuals, and they both like to play. Both of these cars feature their respective performance packages. For the SS, it's the 1LE, which puts in a 391 final drive ratio, new dampers, larger anti-roll bars, a strut tower brace, and it also takes the ZL1's wheels and tires, wheel bearings, toe links, shock mounts, fuel pump, and steering wheel. The GT's performance pack adds a 373 final drive, larger radiator, strut tower brace, larger rear anti-roll bar, new springs, bigger wheels, and staggered tires. It also gets major Brembo brake upgrades, 15-inch rotors with 6-piston calipers up front. Interestingly, despite being smaller in overall vehicle footprint, the Mustang isn't that much lighter than the Camaro. Mustang weight has increased this generation, and while our highly loaded premium trim here doesn't help, we were surprised to see only a 72-pound difference between the two cars. Pony car diehards might be disappointed that you can't find a winner just with straight-line performance. On this particular test day, they essentially tied, reaching 60 in 4.4 seconds. The Mustang was slightly faster at the quarter, passing it a tenth faster and 1.7 mile an hour higher in trap speed. In braking performance, the Camaro began to strut its tire grip, stopping 8 feet shorter from 60 miles an hour. Around the figure 8, the Camaro just slightly beat the Mustang by 0.2 of a second in its lap time. The Camaro's average lateral acceleration was 0.02 of a G higher. Here we are in the new Mustang GT. I've been very excited to drive this car because it looks like such a dramatic departure from the Mustangs that we've known and loved. The styling alone tells you this car is going to be very different. The interior too, it looks similar to Mustangs of the past, but it's a much better place to be. The materials are a lot better, everything's nice to use, and there's this idea that there's this bit more technology everywhere you look. I mean, for crying out loud, we have adaptive cruise control in a Mustang. When did you ever think that was gonna happen? We also have independent rear suspension. Finally, across all models, no longer just confined to the occasional SVT that they would do now and again. And, well, how does it all come together? Would it be disappointing to say that this drove like a Mustang, like we remembered it to be? I don't know, and that's kind of what I'm juggling with, because this reminds me a lot of what I remembered Mustangs driving like. When you start really pushing the car, when you throw it into a corner, when you use the brakes and the gas, you feel the body pitch and roll in a way that's entertaining and very Mustang-like, but in a way that kind of makes you think, well, might have been hoping for a little bit more. I do like this V8. This drivetrain is really nice. The way this V8 revs out, it feels free, and I like the way the power swells in the high RPMs. Like the 1LE, we have a Torsen differential, and it's interesting going from the testing, driving these two really hard around the handling track, how loose this rear end is versus the Camaros. The Camaro's really planted and stable and easy to get out of corners quickly. You have to be really mindful with your throttle application on this car. You kind of fight some understeer mid-corner and have to fix it by applying power, which gets you into kind of this oversteer thing that you're always kind of fighting the front and the rear end, fighting the front on the steering, fighting the rear on the throttle. And it's fun, it's funny, but it's not satisfying the way the Camaro's is. I like sitting in this Mustang more. I like the outward visibility more. I like the size of this car more. I like the interior more. The steering in this car does feel quite good. The way you get around a turn, jump on the throttle, and the front end just sort of leaps up and takes you to the next, that can be really engaging. I just think the Camaro might be slightly better controlled when you're getting in and coming out. It doesn't move around as much. Because as nice as this is, as modern as this feels, I'm not having as much fun as I am in the Camaro. Let's just make this a comparison of performance packs, because that's what both these cars have. And for starters, this 1LE package is about $1,000 more than the GT Performance Pack. $3,500 versus $2,500, thereabouts. What if I told you that this Performance Pack makes this car drive better than the GT's Performance Pack makes that car drive? This is a more fun car, ultimately, for so many reasons, despite the fact that it's bigger and despite the fact that it's heavier. For starters, the shifter, steering wheel are nicer to the touch because they have GM's microfiber suede-like material on them. This engine sounds louder, and it's got that really nice, deep baritone roar. I like how the Mustang's engine revs out and how the power builds, but this just hits you solidly and doesn't relent until you upshift or until you lift. What I love about this car is how it turns into a corner and how much traction it has throughout the entire cornering process. It allows you a lot of correction mid-corner. It allows you to get out really fast because the rear end just digs in and powers out. On the handling track, this thing didn't resort to oversteer nearly as much as the Mustang did. And when it was totally controllable. In fact, you could say committed to the throttle, fix your steering, and it would drive out so beautifully. Where the Mustang rolls and pitches around when you brake or add throttle or steer, this thing stays solid. It acts as one unit. And that's probably what's helping give it that sense of precision and agility. A fast shift feels great in this car. It really becomes a matter of which one's a nicer car to sit in, which one's a nicer car to drive. I think the Mustang's a nicer car to sit in, but this one is definitely a better car to drive quickly. Actually, just in general. To find out the ultimate in performance, we went to the track. Also, the Mustang changed colors.
Coming on the front straight at Willow Springs in a brand new 2015 Ford Mustang GT. This engine is smooth. It's a pleasure just to hear this Mustang roar. It has better high RPM power than it did last year. I like the shifter. It's light, quick, flat out around the bowl, revving it out in third gear and up to fourth. Shifts can be done very quickly. The synchros are terrific. I'll tell you what else too, I can just feel how strong the body structure is. Less chassis flex, less vibration. The Mustang is just much better behaved than it was just last year. It's that independent rear suspension. In the new Mustang, it's settled down the back of the car tremendously. The Mustang put down power before very well with its live axle, and it still does, but the real advantage is in this much stiffer body structure. Very impressive. The interesting thing about the suspension is that it is very firm on the street, but on the track here, it feels soft, cushy, rolly. Too soft, really. Floating through the fast, bumpy turn one. We really could use more shock for track work. We're a lot softer than the Camaro 1LE. Mostly shocks, a little bit springs, even though we have the performance pack. Brake pedal is firm, really slows the car down. Just a wee bit of oversensitivity to some of the bumps. The ABS can sometimes get confused, not unusual for a street car on the racetrack. Driven smoothly, it's easy to hang on to the Mustang in the corner. Fun car, more fun than ever really. This version has taken a full step upstream. It's just a far more refined and sophisticated car than the Mustang has ever been before. We're entering the pit straightaway in another of a dying breed. The manual transmission, big V8 pony car, Camaro 1LE. Really good turn in. The Camaro is more firm than the Mustang. The shocks are serious. They're track ready. Camaro really puts the power down. It's tight, good strong shock damping. We're glued to the track, much more so than in the Mustang, which is a little soft. Steering feels great. Cornering grip is great. We're really pulling some G's. I'm sure it's over 1 G in the corner. Camaro really good in a transition because it's properly damped, whereas the Mustang is a lot more floaty. Notice how little I'm counter steering. We stay hooked up in the Camaro. Puts the power down. The front end has loads of grip. Big fat Goodyears. They're very aggressive tire, well suited to track work. Brake pedal's firm. You know what? It's not as firm and doesn't bite as hard as the Mustang brakes, but the ABS seems more comfortable with the challenges of giant bumps like we encounter in that kink. This whole Camaro 1LE is a much more track-focused car than the Mustang GT with the performance pack. It's kind of about what you want out of a car. It's like having 90% of a Z28. Does all the same things as a Z28, just not as fast. The Camaro is just plain more fun on the racetrack.
With near equal straight-line performance gains, what determined this head-to-head was how fun each car was on the road and how well they performed at the track. They were, after all, equipped with performance packs. We like the Mustang, especially the high-rev character of its powertrain and how refined its interior feels. And if the Camaro weren't here, we'd be singing the Mustang's praises. Alas, everyone who drove the Camaro just preferred it. While its interior still feels cramped and hard to see out of and somewhat low budget, the 1LE's driving experience is more sports car than pony car, with precise steering, willingness from the front end, and a terrific overall balance. Yes, it's bigger and it's heavier, but it's also faster around a racetrack and more satisfying on the road. In this comparison of performance packages, the Camaro's handily trounces the Mustangs, and for that reason, the Camaro wins this episode of Head to Head.